Mac here again from Mac Hatter. I'm going to give you my conference semifinal predictions. I actually did this video earlier. My iPhone gave me a whole bunch of garbage. So here we are, I got to do it again. First round, I did pretty good. Got 2 series wrong. I got the Anaheim-Nashville series wrong. Gotta say, it looked really bad picking Anaheim in 5 in that one. And the Flyers-Sabres series I got wrong. Can't complain, I got the Flyers-Sabres series wrong. Got to keep the playoff beer going. I might have started that a little bit early, and now it kind of gives me an excuse not to shave, but I'm going to get into the games now. First up, we got the Washington Capitals disposed of the New York Rangers in 5 games in the opening round against number 5 seed Tampa Bay Lightning, who came back from 3-1 to defeat the Penguins tonight in the series. 4-2, Washington took the season series. Two pretty good goalies, although we're not quite sure on Neuwirth how good he really is, which I also think the same thing about that defense, although a lot of people want to give him praise already. Neuwirth, I mean, he looked good, but I would say more New York is such a horrible offense that makes him look that much better. Dwayne Rollinson, 6-0 in elimination games. Pretty impressive. Washington had the 3rd fewest goals scored. One of the other teams was the Rangers, so just this series. And I know they only played 5 games, but their average goals scored middle of the pack. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, had 22 goals, tied for the most of any team in the playoffs. They've been shorthanded more than any team, but managed to have the 2nd best penalty kill, only to the Canadiens, who killed off every single Boston penalty. So it's pretty impressive. Washington, 3rd in the penalty kill. I've talked about how bad the Rangers' offense was, but yeah, still pretty good to be able to kill off the penalties no matter what team you're facing. Tampa Bay had the 3rd best power play, and they had the most power play goals. Washington had middle of the pack, a little bit lower, 11th best power play. Ovechkin, you know the comparisons with him and Crosby. You know he wants to get a cup. They got a good offense on paper. They've been kind of middle of the road this year. Tampa Bay got a very strong offense. I think too much for that defense. They got Gagne. They got Stamkos came on a little bit towards the end. They got St. Louis. And I'm going with the upset. I'm picking Tampa in 7. Next up, we got a rematch from last year's epic Eastern Conference semifinals. Epic depending on which city you live in. Epic for me because I live in the Philadelphia region. But Flyers came back from down 3-0 in the series and 3-0 in Game 7. Boucher got injured Game 5. Layden came in, and like the commercial show, history was made. Boston took the season series 3-1. Both teams in the last round made a little bit of history. Flyers were the first team to use 3 different starting goalies and win a series in 23 years, and Boston was the first team to not score a goal on the power play and win a series. Flyers offense, except for the 2 shutouts by Miller, very impressive. Just hiccups in those 2 games, but also their defense was bad at a couple, giving up goals right after they scored. The Flyers have the goal leader, Claude Giroux, who I think got snubbed and should have been up for a Selke. That guy does absolutely everything. The assist leader, Danny Briere, is a playoff monster. And the plus-minus leader, who I think is the most underrated player on that team, Kimmo Timonen. Flyers gave up 11 goals in the first period. They were the only team to allow double-digit amount of goals in the first period. That's something they're going to have to tighten up a little bit. Like I said, Boston didn't score any power play goals. Flyers power play, not that great either. Horden, in his first playoff appearance, coming over from Florida, he Had 2 OT game winners, including tonight, to help move the Bruins on in an epic Game 7. Is there anything else you would want from an original 6 team than a 7-game series and it go into OT? Bergeron, I've been a fan of his since he's come in the league. Got 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists. Difference this year from last year, Tim Thomas in net. Last year he was hurt with the hip injury. Tuukka Rask was their goalie last year. But I don't see anybody jumping up 3-0 or maybe even 3-1 in the series. But I do like the Flyers in 6, setting up a rematch of 2004 Eastern Conference Finals, the Flyers and Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to head out west. Vancouver, the other night, pulled out the series in 7. Almost became the 4th team to blow a 3-0 series lead, but they held off the Hawks in OT. They're facing number 5 Nashville Predators, who I mentioned earlier, beat the Anaheim Ducks. They split the season series 2-2, and I gotta say, not exactly, but it was kind of reminiscent that Vancouver overtime winner of Pavel Bure back in 1994, getting the Game 7 OT winner, helped propel the Canucks to a Stanley Cup Finals matchup against the New York Rangers. I have to see how that plays out. I know some of you Vancouver fans out there like that one. I got a tiny bit of a cult following with the Canuck fans out there. Daniel Sedin tied for 3rd in goals with 5. Nashville, they're tied for 1st in goals scored as a team, but they've more spread out and distributed their attack. They're tied for 1st in goals per game. Both teams' power plays at 22.2%, respectable. Vancouver, I think, going to 7 against the former last year's champs was a good test for them, and I think that they'll dispose of Nashville in 6. And now we head out to another of last year's semifinal matchups. Not quite a storybook or nearly as good as the Bruins Flyers, but we have the number 2 San Jose Sharks against the number 3 Detroit Red Wings. San Jose took them 6 games, and I called the OT winner with Joe Thornton. If you don't believe me, tweet Jeremy Roenick. I tweeted him. I called the game winner because I said it in exact words. It was Joe Thornton's time to step up and his time to shine. Detroit, only team to get a sweep. Season series, San Jose took it 4-1. I'm sorry, that was their series last year. San Jose took 4-1. San Jose won 3 of 4 this year against Detroit. Detroit's only win, a 5-3 decision, came November 30th at HP Pavilion. The Sharks won the next 3 matchups, outscoring Detroit 12-6. San Jose entered the postseason, boasting 5 players who had 60 or more points. The Red Wings will have to execute some puck possession if they hope to avenge last year's playoff loss. Detroit had a great power play. San Jose's not so hot. San Jose, different looking net again from last year. They got Antti Niemi, although I think he's the wrong guy to go with. I think Niittymaki was doing a much better job in the time he got to play. I'm surprised they stuck with Niemi with all the goals they were giving up. I think they were lucky to pull that series out. It could have went either way. Detroit, 20 straight years in the postseason. They got the veteran presence, but there's just a sense about this Detroit team that they just won another one. Even though they won it just 3 years ago. Datsuk was always good. Zetterberg didn't play first round. Still up in the air. I've heard rumors either way. He's going to maybe play game 1. He's not going to play game 1. Franzen had, I think, 23 stitches. Came back out when they were up 4-0. Dave Babcock wanted him to get a visor. He'd have nothing to do with that. He didn't play game 4, but I think he should be back. Jimmy Howard looked really good. He had a tendency to give up rebounds, but he seemed to fix that in this series. I'm going to go with Detroit in 6 and set up a Vancouver-Detroit Western Conference final. So, that's my predictions for this round. We'll see how it pans out. You guys let me know what you think. Please subscribe. Tell your mother, tell your sister, tell Andy Gonzalez. That's a Phil Davidson reference. YouTube him. Let's just get some people watching this. Leave some comments. I love talking hockey. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.